Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Life with Miss H, and today it's another Math Madness video, and we're going to be looking at divisibility rules. And so divisibility rules can help you when you're dividing, when you're finding least common multiple, when you are trying to find greatest common factors. Like they're basic. They're not really sixth grade content, but I teach them to my sixth graders because they really can use that when they're simplifying fractions, with the long division, dividing decimals, dividing fractions, all of that. So it is one of those topics that you don't really hear a lot in sixth grade math, but I definitely teach them, and they're so useful throughout the year. So I hope this video helps you. Remember, if there are any other topics that you would like to hear, email me or message me on my Instagram, Life with Miss H. And I just want to help you all. These videos are for this crazy time, this madness with math, with trying to teach through technology. And so I really want to help those parents at home and those students at home that are needing that extra help. So if there's anything that you want to see on a video, whether it's math, science, because I can teach 5 through 9 science, I have access to a language arts teacher, I have access to an art teacher, to social studies, just holler at me, let me know, and we can figure out this together and still enjoy this time, because my classroom is empty. I'm still at school, so I still want to teach a little bit. I miss that teaching feeling when my students are in my room. So I hope this helps you all. So let's get started. Okay, so let's first look at the rules, and then we will go to our work map. So divisibility rules. Okay, so for 2, if a number is divisible by 2, it is even. So it has to end with a 0, a 2, 4, 6, and 8. 3, what you do is you're going to add the digits. So you're going to add them to get the sum, and if the sum is a multiple of 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on, then that number is divisible by 3. So for 4, a number is divisible by 4 if it is even and can be divided by 2 twice. Now that is a rule that I tell my students because it helps so much when we are looking at greatest common factor. But another rule that I've seen is if the last 2 digits are divisible by 4 in a number. So we'll look at that rule. We'll look at both of those rules today when we're looking at our numbers. And then for 5, a number is divisible by 5 if it ends in a 5 or a 0. So 5 and 2 are very, very easy, and those are our favorite divisibility rules. Okay, so 6. So for 6 to be divisible, or for a number to be divisible by 6, then you really have to look at those rules for 2 and 3. So if a number is divisible by 2 and 3, then it will be divisible by 6. Now 8 is one that is kind of difficult, but if the last 3 digits of the number, the last 3 digits are divisible by 8. So you got to look at those last 3 numbers of the last 3 digits of a number and decide if it is divisible by 8. For 9 is a lot like 3, so you need to add the digits in the number to see if the sum adds up to be a multiple of 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36. And then 10, so a number is divisible by 10 if it ends in 0. So we love 10, we love 5, we love 2, and 6 is pretty easy if you know your 2, if you know if it's divisible by 2 and 3. So I hope that these help, and let's look at our work map. Okay, so here's our work map. Remember, when we're using our work map, we look at concrete and we use manipulatives, and then we use semi-concrete, so models, we're going to draw models, and then abstract, we're going to use those symbols with add, subtract, multiply, divide, and the different strategies that I like to use. So let's start with the manipulatives. So here I have 24 unit cubes, and we're going to break these cubes and see what numbers we can break 24 into, or what we can divide 24 by. So let's first start with, everything is divisible by 1, so we just move on to 2. So we're going to start making groups of 2 to see if we end up with an even number. Okay, so since we did groups of 2, we ended up with a good amount of groups of 2, so we don't have any left over. So that means that 24 is divisible by 2. Now, when we do these models with these unit cubes, and like modeling with these manipulatives, we can also see that since we did 2 groups of 2, we can count up here and see what our other factor is, or what other number 24 is divisible by. So we can count up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, so that means that 24 is also divisible by 12, but for today, we're just focusing on 2 through 10. So it is divisible by 2. Now let's do groups of 3 and see if 24 is divisible by 3. So I have 2 here. I'm just going to start over here, and I'm going to start adding 1 to the bottom here. So I'm making groups of 3 and seeing if I have any unit cubes left over. Okay, so now you can see that I make groups of 3 here, and I do not have any unit cubes left over. So that means that 24 is divisible by 3 as well. So now let's do 4s. Let's do groups of 4s. So we did groups of 4s here, and you see that we do not have any left over as well. So we can say that 24 is divisible by 4. So let's do 5, the groups of 5. Okay, so this is a perfect example as to why 24 is not divisible by 5. Because you see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This group has 5, this group has 5, this group has 5, this group has 5, but this group only has 4, and we don't have any other unit cubes to add to that, or it would make it 25. So you can say that 24 is not divisible by 5. So now let's try groups of 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This group has 6, this group has 6, this one has 6, and this last one has 6. So we can say that 24 is divisible by 6. Now let's try groups of 7. We really don't have a rule for 7. 7's one of those that you kind of need to know your multiplication facts for, or just sit and divide by 7. If anybody knows like a good rule for 7, let me know in the comments, because I'm not familiar with it. Sorry, guys. So here we have a group of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has 7, this one has 7, this one has 7, this one has 3. So that means that 24 is not divisible by 7. So now let's go to 8. So I'm just going to take these down here, and I'm making groups of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This group has 8, this one has 8, this one has 8. So in this case, we don't have anything left over, so it is divisible by 8. Now let's do 9. So I'm going to borrow some here and move it down here to 9, make 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one has 9, this one does not have 9, this one has 6. So that means that 24 is not divisible by 9. And then our last one is 10, so let's steal 2 from this group and make this 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then I have 2 groups of 10, but then I have 4 left over. So that means that it is not divisible by 10. So now we used our manipulatives. Let's just draw. So we're kind of just going to draw the same way that we were using these manipulatives. So if you don't have manipulatives at home and you like the models, then you can still do it yourself. So let's first start with groups of 2. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So here you can see that we made 12 groups of 2, which made that 24, so it is divisible by 2. So now let's do groups of 3. So now I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So we can see that yes, 24 is divisible by 3. Now let's do groups of 4. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we know that 24 is divisible by 4. Now let's do 5 just to show how that does not work. Because we saw over here with our manipulatives that 5 is not divisible, or 24 is not divisible by 5. So that's 10. That's 15. 20. And then if we do another group of 5, we can count that it would be 25. So this makes 25, so 5 does not work. So let's do 6. Because we're looking at the divisibility rules 2 through 10 today. So there's a group of 6. So this is 6, 12, 18, and then here makes 24. So we know that 24 is divisible by 6. And we knew over here that it is not divisible by 7. We could do the same thing and make groups of 7, and then we would see that that would be too many or not enough. So let's go on to 8. Okay, so there's a group of 8. $16. And 24. So 8 does work. Okay, so here is the abstract, and remember that we have rules that we can use. So let's start with 24, and what I tell my students, since we are checking 2 through 10, I will just list it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We didn't have a rule for 7, so I'm not going to use it. But, so 24, our rule for 2s was it had to be even. It had to end in a 2, 4, 6, 8, or a 0. So in this case, our number is even because it ends in a 4, so we know that it is divisible by 2. So if I had a fraction, or if I was trying to find the greatest common factor, I know that 2 is a factor of 24 because it can be divided by 4. Now, for 3, the first thing we had to do is we had to add the digits. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Now is 6 a multiple of 3? So 2 times 3 is 6. So yes, it's a multiple of 3, which means yes, 24 is divisible by 3. Now 4, we wanted to say is it divisible by 4? 1 is the last two digits divisible by 4, so, or a multiple of 4. So 24, 4 times 6 is 24. So yes, that one would work, that rule. But also, let's think of, is it divisible by 2 twice? So if I divided 24 by 2 once, it's 12. So when I divided that 24 by 2, I get 12, and so 12 is even again. So that means it is divisible by 2 twice. So 24 is divisible by 4. So then 5. Remember, our rule for 5 is it either ends in a 0 or a 5. And does this end in a 0 or a 5? No. So it is not divisible by 5. Now 6, we need to look at, is it divisible by 2 and 3? So do I have a check mark by 2 and 3? Yes. So that means that that number is divisible by 6. Now 8, you look at the last 3 digits, or if you don't have 3 digits, you can look at these two, and is it a multiple of 8? Yes, 8 times 3 is 24. So I know that 24 is divisible by 8. Now 9 is another one like 3. I've got to add those digits. So 2 plus 4, and that gives me 6. Is 6 a multiple of 9? No. So it is not divisible by 9. Now remember, 10 is, it either ends in it has to end in a 0. There's no other way for it to be divisible by 10. Does 24 end in a 0? No. So it is not divisible by 10. So here was our work map. Now we're going to look at some examples. Okay, our first example, so we have what number is 642, or what numbers is 642 divisible by? So I'm just going to list my numbers like I did for my abstract on my work mat. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or wait, sorry. I keep wanting to write 7, but we don't really have a rule for 7. Okay, so 642, starting with 2. Is it even? It ends in a 2. So yes, it is even, automatically divisible by 2. Okay, 3, so I'm going to add my digits. So 6 plus 4 plus 2. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Is 12 a multiple of 3? Well, 3 times 4 is 12, so yes, it is divisible by 3. Okay, so 4, I'm going to have to look, is the last digits divisible by 4? If you can think of a number, well, we know that 4 times 10 is 40, and then 4 more with that would be 44. So 42 is not a multiple of 4. It's not divisible by 4. Now, we can also look at the rule that we wanted to use. Yes, it was first divisible by 2, but we need to divide it and see, is it even again? Can it be divided by 2 again? So 2 can go into 6 3 times. Subtract, bring down. 2 can go into 4 2 times. Subtract, bring down. 2 can go into 2 1 time. Okay, so 642 divided by 2 is 321. That is not even again. So both rules show, or both ways that we look at it shows that no, 642 is not divisible by 4. Okay, so 5, does it end in a 5 or a 0? Nope, not divisible by 5. Okay, so 6, is it divisible by 2 and 3? Yeah, divisible by 6. Okay, so 8, is the last 3 digits divisible by 8? So we really actually have to divide. So 8 can't go into 6. 8 can go into 64 8 times. Bring down. So no, it's not divisible by 8. So not evenly. So there, that means it's not divisible by 8. Okay, so 9, we need to add the digits up. So 6 plus 4 plus 2, that is 12. Is 12 a multiple of 9? No. so it's not divisible by 9. And then 10, does it end in a 0? Nope, not divisible by 10. Okay, example 2. So let's list our numbers. Okay, starting off with 2. Is it even? No, not divisible by 2. For 3, let's add our numbers. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Is 9 a multiple of 3? Yes, so it is divisible by 3. 4, first of all, is it even? No. Even if we looked at the last 2 digits, 23 is not a multiple of 4. So not divisible by 4. 5, does it end in a 5 or a 0? Nope. 6, now here we can look. Yes, it's divisible by 3, but it has to be divisible by 2 and 3, which is 6, and it's not, so not divisible by 6. All right, 8. Let's come over to the side and let's divide it by 8. 8 can go into 42 5 times. So 23 divided by 8 is 2. Oh, whoa. So we need to borrow, make that a 1. That's 7. So we have a remainder of 7. So since it is not divisible by 8 evenly, it's not, we put us a little x. Now 9, so we need to add the digits. 4 plus 2 plus 3. So that did equal 9. 9 is a multiple of 9. So it is divisible by 9. Now let's look at 10. It doesn't end in a 0. No. So it is not divisible by 10. Okay, so this will be our last one. So let's list our numbers. Okay, 2. Is it even? Yep. Divisible by 2. Does it... Oh, we need to add the digits. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 8 is 11. So is it a multiple of 3? No. So not divisible by 3. Now let's look at 4. So we need to look at the last 2 digits. Well, 4 times 7 is 28, so yes, it's divisible by 4. Also, if I looked at, is it even? Yes. Can it be divided by 2 again? So that's 6. Bring down 8. So it's even again. So yeah, it does work. Looking here, does it end in a 0 or a 5? Nope, not divisible by 5. Is it divisible by 2 and 3? Nope, so it's not divisible by 6. Looking at 8, is the number divisible, or is the last 3 digits divisible by 8? So 1 times 8, 4, and then 6 times 8 is 48. So yes, it's divisible by 8, so we can put a check. All right, 9, so I need to add up the digits. 1 plus 2 plus 8 is 11. It's not a multiple of 9, so not divisible by 9. And does it end in a 0? No. So not divisible by 10. I hope that this video helped you all and that you will be able to look at dividing easier or even finding greatest common factor easier because of these divisibility rules. Remember, I do make mistakes in my videos for my students to identify for extra credit, and so students, even though we're not in school and you can't tell me, you can still get those extra credit points by just emailing me or messaging me the mistake that you found. So don't forget that that opportunity is still there. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button down on the little corner, and then don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like this video and it helped you. So I will see you all next time. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like to see, any videos that you would like to see coming up. Bye, y'all.